All right, and we are live. And today, the question I want to pose is: are you cautious about what you post, like, or comment on social media? Now, if you're that way, I understand. I get it. A lot of the things that I post, people are kind of cautious on. I get a lot of impressions, but they don't want to hit the like or they don't want to comment. And there's a reason for that I totally understand. And so I want to talk about some things that you can't share on social media or that you probably shouldn't share on social media. Okay. And the reason for that is especially on platforms like LinkedIn, where it's associated with your current job and your employer. A lot of people uh, don't want others in their organization to know what they're posting about. And I can understand. So, especially, some of the things that you normally wouldn't post about, right? Is things like if you're in a leadership role and maybe you're having some issues with your employees, maybe with peers, maybe with, if you're an internal audit, maybe the board of directors, and you'd like some feedback. You'd like to bounce ideas off of other people, talk to other people about what they're doing. But that's not something that you would go out on LinkedIn and say, hey, everybody, I'm having difficulty with my general counsel right now, and I'd like some feedback if you've had issues with your general counsel on what to do, right? You're not going to do that because the general counsel, somebody else in your organization might look at it and say, oh, Jason has an issue with the general counsel, or Jason doesn't know what he's talking about. He's unsure about something. He has a challenge that he would like to overcome, and here he is broadcasting it to the world, right? That's probably not something that you should share on social media. And I understand. I wouldn't do that either, right? So then the question becomes, well, if I can't share that on social media, then how do I get the answer? Do I just have to do it by myself? Do I have to sit on this little island and, away from everybody else? Or how do I actually find out the answer? Well, you need to find a safe place with people that you trust and respect, where you can actually ask those questions and get that feedback. Now, if you're an internal audit, and if you're an internal audit leader, there is a thing called the Audit Leader Forum, which is exactly what that is for, right? So people can come on, ask questions, talk to other people who are in the role, ask me questions as well. And it's a safe place. It's confidential. Nobody knows what you're asking about. Nobody knows the guidance that you're being given. And so it's a safe place. So if you're the kind of person that needs that information, I put something in the comments above or below or the description, wherever it shows up on social media where you're looking at it. And so there's a link so you can go out and take a look at it, see if that is something that would be good for you, right? And if it is, then go ahead and join us. There's a link to be able to register or message me for more information. Okay. So that's probably one thing that you don't want to share on social media. Okay. And I get it. Another thing you probably don't want to share, I mean, again, it depends on if it's your personal page, maybe like on Facebook. But, especially on platforms like LinkedIn, a lot of times kind of your political opinions and things like that, probably, again, not a good thing for you to share on social media. It doesn't mean you shouldn't have them. It doesn't mean you can't express them. But there's a story. I used to work for a billionaire, and he's since transitioned. He's no longer on the planet right now. But I remember hearing him talk about the fact that many people had approached him over his life to run for public office, to become a politician, because they're like, Jack, you know what you're talking about. We'd love to have you in there. I'd vote for you. I'll give you money to run. And over again, he said, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to, he didn't even say which political party he affiliated with. You kind of knew. But he said, I'm never going to run for public office because I do business with people who believe different things, right? Some people that are Democrats, some are independent, some might be Republicans. And so he didn't want to jeopardize his livelihood and his businesses with putting his political views out there in the public, or running for a particular political office. I totally understand that as well, right? Now, again, you can choose to do that if you want to. It's up to you. But at least for me, I don't also say my public or my political or apolitical views out on social media. Okay. Now, because this is live too. If you're joining me, hit me up with comments if you want to kind of take the discussion a certain way, and let me know that you're here, and we can kind of have a dialogue actually online as we're going through this. So that's probably the second thing that you probably can't share or shouldn't share on social media. And very closely tied to some of the political views could be your views about different social issues as well, right? Again, you may have a different social view than other people. And so I tend to, for myself, just stay neutral or not talk about some of the social issues. Now, that doesn't mean that sometimes I don't get a hair up my ass and I still talk about certain things, because again, I own my own businesses. I am free to talk about what I want to talk about publicly. That's my boss isn't going to get mad at me. Now, my businesses might suffer because of it. And so again, that's why I don't do this very often, right? Because I like to mind my own business, and I like it when other people mind their own business too, right? So I don't really want you coming and telling me that my social views or opinions or political views are wrong necessarily. That's not the discussion I want to have. I don't want to be having disagreements with people about things like that. Instead, I would like to talk about things that I do stand for, things that I believe in, and things that I believe will help other people as well. Okay. And so again, those are a few things that you probably can't share on social media. Now, let's talk about, that would be maybe like for a post going out, right? Now, I know some people are even hesitant to like or love or even put comments on certain people's posts. Now, if you're that way, I can understand that. I don't totally agree with it in that way, because I think that you can, still show some love to the people who are posting and show some support to them. Because I know a lot of times, like I said, I put posts out there and I get, tens of thousands of impressions, but not very many likes or comments. Why? Because some of the topics that I'm putting out there, I think people don't feel comfortable liking or commenting because they don't want other people in the internet kind of knowing what they might like or what their opinions are on it. Now, if you're afraid of that, I understand. But again, there's still ways that you can go about doing that. Like I said, whether it's the Audit Leader Forum or something like that, if you can join maybe social media groups that are private groups, that gives you kind of an extra layer of protection to be able to express your opinions or comments, because then the whole world doesn't see it. Only people within that group see it, right? If you join other groups or programs, of like-minded people, then it's the same thing. You can share those things as well. And, so again, I would encourage you because we all need feedback. We all need some guidance. We all need to surround ourselves with like minded people. And so, I'm not saying that you isolate yourself on social media from everyone else, but find groups, find people that you resonate with, that maybe you want to follow, you want to join their groups, maybe you want to join their programs if they have other programs as well, so that you can actually, hear what other people are saying that are like you. You can comment, you can share as well. Okay, because it is important. It's an important part of being a human, is to have interaction with other human beings. And I'll tell you, I work mainly with leaders, and typically the further up you go in the organization, the fewer people you have that you can actually talk to. And sometimes the things that you're dealing with are things that your spouse doesn't understand, your family doesn't understand. You don't want to talk with other peers in your organization often about it. You surely wouldn't go to your boss and say, "Hey, I'm having an issue communicating with you, and I'd like some feedback on how to do that better." Right? You may not, right? But a lot of people probably aren't going to do that. So, but we all need help. We all need the guidance. And so, what I'm saying is, even though social media may not be the place to put some of those things out in the public, social media can actually be a very good place to connect with like minded people in these safe spaces, in groups, in things that are offline, other things like that, right? Following people. Even again, if you follow, even if you don't like or comment, but if you want to follow somebody just to hear what they're saying, there's a good idea too, right? Because then you're getting some feedback, at least on what other people are thinking. Because often, we think that we're different, and we're afraid to be who we are authentically, because we don't think that other people feel the same way that we do. We don't think that people think the same way that we do. And so, because of that, sometimes we think we're a little crazy, or that surely I'm not supposed to think this because nobody else does. And so, the more that you're actually able to get out there and communicate and develop relationships with like-minded people, you're going to find out that something that you like, lots of other people like it too, right? Maybe something that you have thought, lots of other people probably think that too. It may not be the people in your direct, immediate social net. And so again, that's why these places on social media can actually be a good place to go as well. So I'm going to wrap it up, make it a little bit shorter today. But again, just wanted to make sure and let you know, if you're one of those people that doesn't really do a lot on social media, I understand. If you like what I'm saying, you can follow me. You can comment if you like to. You can like if you want to. If you don't want to, that's okay too, right? And I'm going to keep putting out information that I hope is helpful for you as well. And make sure that, again, you realize there are safe places where you can share. And again, if you're an internal audit, if you're an audit leader, reach out to me. Click on the link in the description of this video, and there's a place where you can go and actually share with other people as well. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up for today, and I will catch you on the next live.